We back again with another segment I like to call Talk to Me. We got another special guest in the building, business funding and coaching expert, part owner of Finer Credit Solution and Funding that he owns with his wife, Marquisa Mitchell. The one and only Zebulun Mitchell. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. Better than I deserve.
For sure. Better than you deserve. What that mean?
I mean, somebody is getting themselves together.
Okay.
Like when the man say better than I deserve anybody, like they trying to get themselves together.
Yeah.
So, like if I go to the valet, ask him how you doing something better than I deserve, I double tip him.
Okay. All right. I ain't
Get
never
himself
heard
together.
nobody say it like that.
Yeah.
Well, let me before we get started, introduce yourself and just tell everybody just a little something about you and where you from.
Um, Originally I'm from South Memphis. I grew up down there off Hernando and Vance. Went to Hamilton. Graduated from Mace local schools. Zeb Mitchell by short. Been doing business, funding, credit repair, all those things, coaching in that space over a decade. Um, we have grown several businesses, started several businesses, helped other people start businesses, relocated to Puerto Rico, saved on taxes, stayed there for almost 3 years, Tres Años, and relocated back to Tennessee and about to move to Florida.
Okay.
So, to summarize it, I have a lot of experience to be young.
Yeah. All right. This dope. This dope. All right. Let me start out by asking you because so let me start off by kind of referencing teachers. They say teachers don't get paid enough. So
Right.
it's a lot to talk about teachers pay, talk about like a lot of things that's required in the classroom that they don't have, the kids' behavior, like different things that you will question, like, why do you do this? Like, what makes you go to this school every day and still show up? So I say that to say, why your profession? Why credit? Why this field? Like, once you get successful, you financially stable. Like, why still have to? What is it about helping others and teaching them about credit and business loans and stuff like that?
Well, the biggest reason why we do it is that we just genuinely love helping people. It's to help someone see another side of themselves or another side of business or some type of achievement they didn't know about.
Yeah,
Like we meet so many people, they want to buy a home. Buying a home is not a simple thing. You don't just wake up and go buy a home. You gotta save for the down payment. You gotta understand how escrow work. You gotta understand the location. Location matters when to buy a home. And just on the business side, you don't just start a business. Like you got to have a plan. And if you want to get funded, you also have to has a plan with that too when it comes to your personal credit, business credit, the way you align your bank accounts, all those things. You have to have a plan. So we just got in the business of teaching because we met so many people that were lost
yeah,
and they needed a roadmap to get to where they were trying to go.
mm,
And like even myself, I have a mentor.
yeah.
Got several of them I talk to. They keep me accountable. They hold me accountable. So that's why.
So, what would you say are the top three questions to ask when it comes to business funding?
It's really to me. It's like, how do I get funding,
Yeah.
and why am I denied?
Mm.
That's really it. Because the amounts is all in how do I get it, and why was I denied the amount I want?
So I'm assuming the answers to those questions are a case by case basis, basically.
Yes, everybody is a case by case. Like even with personal credit, everyone has their own case. None of it is identical.
Okay. All right. So why would you say it's important to have good personal credit when owning a business?
Well, for one, it shows the banks that you are serious
Yeah.
about your business because you have great personal. But unless like it's two types, it's two levels of business credit and funding.
Okay.
You have the corporate side and you have the business credit side.
Yeah.
99% of business owners are asking for business credit, which is when you're the personal guarantee of the loan.
Yeah.
The corporate side is when you have a large business netting over $2 million a year.
Okay.
So if your business make over 2 million, you can go get corporate funding without being the personal guarantee.
Mm.
But you have to also report down the taxes. So, it's more logistics to it. But with the personal side, mostly everyone is going to fall in the personal side where you got to be the personal guarantee
Mm.
of the loan you're trying to get.
Mm.
So that's why it's important. And you can get approved low as a 660 too. So you
Yeah,
don't have to have perfect scores, but the way the profile is structured,
yeah.
we'll talk about that, and that what helps a lot of business owners get approved.
When I was researching you, I ended up putting up your Instagram, and before I can even like go through it, just your name caught my attention alone. Credit versus cash. Explain, explain credit versus cash and how that applies to people everyday lives.
Credit versus cash. You're taught not to borrow money. It's
Mm,
against. It calls you a fool if you borrow money. They say the borrower is slave to the lender. That's a proverb.
mm,
So to me, I had kind of got in this mode where I didn't want to borrow money. So that's why I was like, cash is better. Cash is great to the fool who don't understand credit. But
mm,
ultimately, credit, you can do a lot with it. But it's like playing with a snake. It's gonna bite you eventually if you don't do it right.
mm.
So I'm big on credit. But if you can eventually get out of debt and hoard more cash,
Yeah,
you're in a better position. Because you could become the lender.
yeah.
So the ultimate goal is to become the lender and not the borrower.
Mm. Yeah, I saw a live you did where you were speaking about uh officially being done with credit. You were still attending to the ones you had obligations with, but you weren't taking on any new clients. Why was it that you were like done with credit? You were just more so focused on like business credit and stuff like that.
Because I was meeting a lot of people who were not trying to educate themselves.
Yeah.
Like like right now, we coach people how to fix their own credit.
Mm.
We sit there, we have real live coaches at our office. We met people who like, no, I don't want to learn how to fix. I want you to do it.
Yeah.
And like, no, come learn it because once I'm gone, you're gonna still have to sustain it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna constantly keep paying companies saying people are not doing the job. But like I told you before,
Yeah.
unless you have identical credit report as someone else, everybody credit is different. So you should learn how your credit is structured. It's
Yeah.
like learning your human anatomy. You should learn your body and
Mm-hmm.
know, oh, I got this charge off because I didn't pay my bill for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I can also settle on this account because they sold it to a collection agency, which I don't have to pay as much.
Yeah.
So that's why we started coaching. But I really want to like just go cold turkey because I was meeting too many people who just was not educated,
Mm.
and I'm like, no, let's educate them. If they want it,
Yeah.
let's give it to them in a way where they can learn.
I feel like it's when it comes to educating us on credit and building credit and all of these things within their field, it can be a lot. Cause when y'all talk, y'all don't realize y'all giving so much information, and it's like you get it, and we
Yeah,
be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, but we don't get it. Y'all say y'all giving out so much information. To be honest, a lot of people that's in the world of fixing credit and stuff like that just give out scam. Or they either give out scam or they give out money hungry. It don't feel genuine. It don't
right.
feel like I genuinely want to teach you and to help you and just be with you through this journey. How do you give that genuine vibe? Like, how do you separate yourself from other credit preparers or business owners to like be able to actually connect with your customers?
You got to have patience.
Yeah.
So the ones I have connected with, they have to be coachable for one.
Mm,
Like when I was in school, you was in school, you had the certain kids who act out.
yeah.
And you had the certain ones, they didn't do nothing. Like most of the foreign kids who went to my school, they was the angels. They
Yeah.
didn't do nothing. They got the straight A's. We copied out their homework. So you have to be a coachable client, and you also have to be a teacher with patience.
Mm,
So when I have patience with someone and they have the coachability and they are willing to invest and learn, they become the perfect mentee.
yeah.
But the ones who's like, hey, like the reason why I just got to speak from experience and transparency. The
Yeah.
reason why some companies come out with scams and why some people don't get results because you'll get the client to come to the teacher or the company and say, look, I need to get my credit fixed in 3 months.
Mm,
And they're like, well, I can do it. When you really don't know how fast you can do it.
yeah.
So that's where that disconnect come from.
Mm,
They need something done right now. They want you to do a magic trick when there's no magic trick.
yeah.
So that be the disconnect. Then I had a situation years ago where I had this one lady. She started with us, perfect credit score in 30 days.
Mm,
Her friends start, she didn't see the same results.
yeah.
So she instantly thought the program didn't work.
Mm,
But they had two different reports. She
mm,
had all positive credit with one collection. Her friend had all negative.
Mm.
So she didn't even understand how credit history and trade lines work.
Yeah.
And when we tried to educate her, it was like, hey, you're not coachable.
Yeah.
So we fire our clients too. I would
Okay.
fire a client.
And we ain't doing no political. Like I want you to be straight, parent, transparent. I want you to be just. I need you to give the audience some constructive criticism and some hardcore truths.
Sure.
Cause that's what I like.
You know how you pick a great company for credit repair? Like if I was on the opposite side
Yeah.
and I needed to pick a credit repair company,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to someone and tell them just be straight up honest with me.
Yeah.
How soon could you fix it?
Yeah.
And if they say, look, it may take a year,
Yeah.
that's a more honest company
Yes.
because you don't know.
Yeah.
Like if you ever been through the process, you know when you send out the spree letter, it
Mm-hmm.
takes 30 to 45 days for a response.
Mm-hmm.
Don't mean you're gonna get the results you're looking for because you have to craft that letter based on what the report say.
Mm.
So they could just tell you, I don't know.
Yeah.
They being transparent.
Mm. So give me some difficulties you've had on your journey within the business.
With credit repair,
Yeah.
honestly, the biggest challenge was when we relocated,
Yeah.
continue to market on Facebook. But
Mm.
when we started growing that business, we got into it before it became a big thing.
Yeah.
Like you talking about, we started 2017.
Okay. Okay.
Trade lines was not what they were today. Credit repair was not a big thing. Like it was just complete no competition. That was really it, trying to market.
Okay. All right, we're gonna come back to business funding and credit. Let's talk about breaking generational curse. All right, you got a family of six. You got four little ones. Um, I saw that you took your kids on a private jet to Florida. That was so dope.
We did that a couple times.
A couple times. That's dope. Like I can't even imagine. I don't even think I've seen a private jet before. So just to experience it, man, that's dope. As a father, as parents. What does breaking generational curse mean to you? What does that look like to you?
Getting away from the people who are part of those generational curses. So isolating yourself away from the people who are a part of that mindset, that ideology, they just don't have no idea to grow.
Mm,
So it's setting a standard.
yeah,
So in order to reach goals, you gotta have a standard.
yeah.
Like you could say, hey, I want to make $1 million this year.
Mm.
You gotta have a standard to do the things to make $1 million. So
So how does credit tie into breaking generational curse?
understanding how that work.
Mm,
You set the standard, hey, I'm gonna use credit, but I'm gonna really understand how this thing work
yeah,
before I just start using it. Because many consumers they use credit to consume stuff.
yeah,
I was one of them. I mean, I bought Gucci, Fendi, all that stuff. I don't
yeah.
buy this stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Had the brand new Mach E,
Yeah,
all type of cars. But right now, no, I need to put it in business.
exactly.
Yep. So
I'll be 40 next year, and it's just like
congrats.
I'm just starting to like get into the importance of how much credit affects your life.
Right.
It's how easy it makes your life. But I was just saying, like, I wish I had I wish I had a me in my age, in my son age. My son's 17. I feel like credit should be a part of school. What's your thoughts on like credit classes and business classes being a part of like your 10th, 11th grade? Like that should be a class. What's your thoughts on that?
I believe that's completely true. And the reason why, did you go to college?
No, I didn't.
So once you get out of high school, for one, you don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
You go back to when you were 17, 18. Unfortunately, I hope your parents didn't kick you out, but if they kicked you out, they kicked out an innocent child that don't know nothing about life.
Yeah.
Once you go to college, the big credit reporting agencies start reporting your information
Mm-hmm.
and your solicited credit cards.
Yeah.
That's why it's important because many people go get student loan debt when they can work through school. They go get credit cards to pay for books, tuition, gas, groceries.
Mm.
You should learn how it works because those the type of credit lines you don't need
Yeah.
unless you're gonna do housing or something. You don't need this stuff. So
Yeah.
I feel it, really believe it should be in schools. They
Yeah.
should learn about it, but it's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something simple
Exactly.
like whenever I coach someone, I always tell them I got over a decade worth of knowledge. I can't teach you this in an hour.
Yeah.
If I did, you wouldn't understand. It'd be like what you said earlier. I'm hearing all this information, but does it make sense to me? I'm agreeing with you, but do it really make sense? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's so much.
What's because I asked somebody this question the other day, and they was like, as soon as my child is able to read, But I'm gonna ask you, what's a realistic age to start educating your child on credit and business?
every day. Like
No age. Oh,
it's
just
not it's not age, every day.
from every day from what age? Like
Like when
once they
they
can
start
comprehend.
understanding the dollar,
Okay.
start teaching them money and how credit work. If you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
but you have to know because we're the only existing species to take over 18 years to raise our youth.
Yeah.
You know, uh, bird is raised from the nest, the parent leave, and that's it. Like we the only species to take forever to raise our youth, and even when they're grown, we still gonna be raising them.
Yeah.
Like, can't you agree? Like, when your son is 18, you're still gonna be his parent, and you
Mm-hmm.
still gonna have to coach him on life until the day you're no longer here.
I agree.
So, I think it's forever. Like, it's when they first learn what money is, and they start playing with money.
Mm-hmm.
They start teaching them just to the importance. Put up some, save some,
Mm.
tie some, get some away. But
Yeah.
no, that's no real age.
So what would you say is some things you can do to like give your kids like a jump start? Because you don't officially start accumulating credit until you 18, right?
No, you can start early. You
You,
can add them as an authorized user to a
okay.
credit card. But the thing is, you have to make sure it's a credit card you don't use
Yeah.
and it has below 30% utilization.
Mm-hmm.
You can add them as authorized use. Like we did this with Navy Federal with a lot of people. We add their kid as authorized use to the credit card when they're like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
Yeah.
$25,000 credit card. When they get out of school, they got a job, they can apply for credit, they go to
Yeah.
Navy, go get $25,000.
Yeah.
So you build in history already. It's like it's relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you get money. It's relationships.
Yeah.
Like before COVID, you could just go apply and get credit.
Mm.
Post COVID, it has to be relationships, no
Mm.
matter if it's business or personal. Nobody's gonna give you money unless they know you got the ability to repay it back,
Mm.
and that comes from having a good credit score.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna ask you some things you can kind of give install to your kids to kind of give them a jump start before they kind of become 18 and they can kind of have a easier transition into like credit and
Yeah, you give them the knowledge, but I wouldn't give them nothing. Like my kids, I'm giving you knowledge, but I'm not gonna give you anything because if you don't learn the way I learned, you're not gonna make good decisions.
yeah.
Because you're gonna look at all the glamorous things. That, oh, mom and dad was on private jet. Mom and
Mm.
dad had a house in Puerto Rico. Mom and dad drove this. Mom
Well,
and dad
when
did
I
that.
when I say give, I mean give as far as like lessons, like things you can kind of install in them over the years, like
Oh yeah,
what I'm saying, different practices or something like that.
yeah, I
Like
agree. Yeah,
yeah,
you should give that to them early as you can.
yeah,
Like my 6-year old, she learned about money.
yeah,
9-year old, 14-year old,
yeah,
and the 2-year old, he don't know, but he know when he see money, he want it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that you quit your job. You both decided to quit your jobs and just go full entrepreneur. How scary was that moment to take that leap of faith for you both?
Man, this so I dealt with anxiety so bad. I'm gonna tell you two stories. So upon me quit, I was working at O'Reilly Auto Parts,
Mm,
and when I first went there, 2016, we was having our first child together, and I started working two jobs, got promoted, moved up, and I realized that I didn't want to do it anymore. So we took a vacation to the Bahamas. My wife boss told her that she had to ask to be off to go to the Bahamas.
mm,
And when I realized we didn't have autonomy, I'm like, nah, let's quit.
yeah,
Let's quit. And I went and sat on the river, and I had never seen a fish on the Mississippi River downtown. I was like, God, if I see a fish today, I just meant to quit. And a big alligator came up right in front of me.
mm,
And I went back. I said, yeah, I'm giving my 30-day notice because I was a manager then. So they
yeah,
allowed me to quit. And the first day I quit, I went to the hospital. I had experienced anxiety.
mm,
And I was at St. Francis in Bartlett.
yeah,
And the nurse, she was like doing the EKG. She's like, everything good with you? Like,
yeah,
what's wrong? Why you say your chest hurt? And I'm like, I know what it is. I
mm,
said, I just quit my job and I feel like everything's on my shoulders now. And
mm,
I got anxiety. And she's like, what are you talking about? I said, never mind, we finna leave. So I just
yeah,
left. Like, y'all sent me to bed, we left, and that was it.
yeah,
Ever since then, we've been out to the races.
mm,
And what's so crazy, we was making, not to brag about money, but like we was making 15 grand a month.
wow,
And I was telling my wife, you can't quit yet.
yeah,
I don't know how this gonna go. Cause it's your first business. You don't
hmm,
really know, but you know you got bills coming the next month.
exactly.
So that's how that happened for us. Yeah.
So what? So for those who's watching, for those who trying to pursue entrepreneurship, like what's some advice you can give them as far as like because everybody get their own story, their own family, their own bills, their own situations, but as far as taking that leap of faith, like what's some advice you can give someone?
Keep your overhead low.
Yeah.
So that story I told you about 2 years ago when I was finna like just stop doing credit, everything, just
Mm.
move on. My overhead had got high.
Mm.
I had got above myself. We had this crazy transition in the market where like the economy was going through a shift before this presidential change, and like our bills were starting to catch up with our income.
Yeah.
So keep your overhead low. Don't get flashy and
Mm.
invest in knowledge. The
Mm.
smarter you get, the better you get. The more value you bring to yourself, the better you'll be to the marketplace, to the people.
Okay.
And people are like that.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Since we on the topic of entrepreneurship, um, it can require a lot of balance.
Right.
Like you got a family of six. How does that play into you prioritizing your marriage?
Man, marriage to me is not hard, but prioritizing spending time
Yeah.
around kids is hard. Like before our youngest was here,
Mm.
we had got to the age where the baby girl was 4. So
Mm.
traveling was easy, leaving them at home was easy. Like date nights were easy.
Mm.
But now he's 2, it's starting to get easy again. But that was a tough time.
Yeah.
Like without people communicating with each other,
Mm.
learning each other, and knowing each other,
Mm.
a lot of people couldn't make it through that.
Yeah.
Because you have to know your partner and know what their breaking points are where you can help. And like even in the Bible it tells you, man, you gotta submit to your wife.
Yeah.
So if she wash dishes, I'm drying them.
Mm.
If she cook dinner, I'm bathing the kids.
Yeah.
If she drop them off, I'm picking them up. Like you gotta submit. You
Mm.
gotta be transparent. She gotta be the same way. That's the only way it's gonna work. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard. And
Yeah.
it's the part when you got little people involved that require your attention.
Mm-hmm.
And to go to the school thing you said earlier, and you was referencing to teachers. Since I've been an entrepreneur and since I had homeschooled and back in school and they getting out of school, sending kids to school is like the worst thing ever to me.
It's not.
It's the worst thing.
Oh, it is.
They are at school for how many hours?
What 10 hours?
8 to 10.
8 to 10. Yeah.
Homeschool take 2.5.
Yeah.
Why you send them home with homework?
Yeah.
Like you act like I have nothing to do. If I didn't have anything to do, they would be homeschooled.
I don't even want to talk about homework. I do not want to. I'm gonna let you finish before I say what I want to say about
But
homework.
seriously, you act
Yeah.
like I have nothing to do with my time as a
Yes.
parent. And
Yeah.
then like my day start at 6, take them to school by 8. I'm at home, got to do my work, got to
Mm.
pick them up by 2 and 3, do homework, fix dinner by 5 and 6. Then you want to spend quality time. That's a job.
Yeah.
So we're big on homeschool. Like this, our last year of school because we're relocating.
Mm-hmm.
We're going back to homeschool.
Yeah.
I was homeschooled. I
Yeah.
did it my first few years of high school. I got in trouble.
Yeah.
Like I was doing crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to be a badass, but
Yeah.
I done matured and articulated myself and
Mm-hmm.
got wise. But
Yeah.
no, what's your take on school and homework?
Well, let me first say I feel like giving kids homework is disrespectful because you ain't doing it but trying to make us feel stupid. I always find myself having to YouTube some shit.
But
You
why
know?
send it home when you could do it at school? Like my teachers used to mess off a lot of time. They be
Yeah.
at the next teacher class gossiping,
Yes.
or they're on their phone. Do it at school.
I feel like tutoring should be a class.
It should be.
You know, this is the class where we do your homework, where we go over the things where you're struggling at. You know what I'm saying? Tutoring should be a class. There should be a period. You know, we get tutoring third period. Everybody should do tutoring because everybody's struggling in something. You know what I'm saying? Well, not everybody. We get some scholars out here, but for the most part, people need help in something. You know what I'm saying? So I find myself sometimes having to tell my daughter, look, tell your teacher you forget your homework. Your dad forget to put it in the bag. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. You're gonna turn it in Monday, cause I ain't had time.
Right.
You know, I get a tutor that comes and help them with their homework, but sometimes I'm not able to fit her in my schedule, so I just be bagged up on homework. But I agree with you. I
And
agree
it's
with you.
back to what you said about being a good teacher and a mentor.
Yeah.
It's like with my kids, if I don't know schoolwork or I'm
Mhm.
not educated enough, I should homeschool them.
Yeah.
But they got systems in place now with AI, even teachers that are
Yeah.
quitting jobs working in like virtual, they can do the work for you.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a better thing. You done with school in 4 hours.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you this. Could you ever see yourself ever going back to the corporate world?
Now, I honestly had contemplated a lot back when we went through a little tough moment. And I'm like,
Yeah,
man, should I go get a job, try to figure out this business? But
yeah,
nah, I'm good.
yeah,
And the reason why is not because I can't make more money,
yeah,
because I got a solid resume.
yeah,
But the biggest thing is I think it's that I want my autonomy. I want my freedom. I want to be able to move around and
yeah,
do me.
yeah.
Yeah, so like right now, I said we about to move to Florida. I
Mm.
can't do that unless I ask my job to transfer me. So nah.
Do you plan on really like instilling entrepreneurship in your kids, or are you gonna kind of let them, figure out their own journey?
I want them to figure out their own journey.
Yeah,
But my dad was an entrepreneur and he did a lot of construction around the city. Like he was big in construction in Memphis. He did almost every Walgreens, the Statue of Liberty out there in East Memphis. He did the base of that. G.E. Patterson Church.
yeah,
But like the ideal of entrepreneurship was instilled in me, but
yeah,
his frame of work I didn't want to do.
mm,
So like with them, I would love to teach them how to do entrepreneurship, but
yeah.
they don't have to do what I do
Okay,
unless they like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could leave one thing when it comes to credit or business funding, what's one thing you would leave with the audience, with the viewers?
Keep your debt low. Look to invest. Don't go for the quickest get rich quick thing.
Yeah,
'Cause, like even though it's credit, it's not meant to be used as a get rich quick scheme.
yeah,
You're supposed to use that money like it's your own.
mm,
And when I first stopped using credit, I realized that I count every dollar.
yeah,
So count that money like it's your own. Remember that if you're in debt, you got interest behind it. That stuff add up, and if you use it wisely to outpace the interest.
yeah. All right. Well, once again, man, I appreciate you pulling up on me, man. Like I said, I'm proud of you, man. I like everything you're doing.
Great, appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to this second book. I'm about the first one, so I'm gonna check it out. And shout out to social media, man. Let everybody know where they can find you and what you get coming.
So y'all can get on our Instagram, Zebulun_Mitchell. I'll put the handles up here for you.
Yeah,
You can also find my wife at Keisa Mitchell. That's Facebook and Instagram. The business is Finding Credit Solution and Funding, and the YouTube page is Zeb Mitchell. So you connect with us on there. You can see some of our services and products we offer. You got questions, just shoot your question, and that's it.
for sure, man. All right, we gonna get out of here. We gonna get straight to it.